We're going to start with race number 7. I got to put the right screen in, right? Instead of my email. Race number 7 is the Ogden Fifth Stakes, a grade 1 for $500,000. And you can see right there, post position 1, Jose Ortiz riding Swiss Skydiver. I mean, there's really not much you can tell everybody about Swiss Skydiver, but are you looking forward to this ride, Jose?
Oh yeah, I appreciate the opportunity they give me to ride this amazing filly. She won the Preakness and she's pretty nice. I think she had a great shot, and I think it will set up good for her.
What's the plan, to get out on the lead, to try to not let Lacushka get the lead on her and close it out at the end?
From what can I see, she's a very good horse out of the gate. But I think being on the one hole, I either have to go or I have to sit. I can be indecisive. I got to make a decision. But how I see it is Lacushka going to the lead. She's a dark devil, putting pressure on her, and me sitting there in the pocket. But
all right, hopefully you can pull this one out. So, Tom, since you were not here last week, why don't you tell us who you like in race 7?
I went with Bonnie South, and yes, that'll be a long shot. She won a really nice race the last time out at Keeneland, a grade 3. And the thing I really liked about the race was she really fought all her way to the wire, and she's very game. She's run second to some of these horses that are here, like Swiss Skydiver. But one of the other things is she loves the 1.16 distance. She's won 4 times out of 5 races at this. But this is going to be a test for her. We'll see if she can do it. And Joe Rosario picks up the mount, and Florent Giroux is the regular rider of She Dares the Devil. So we'll see what happens. Picked Lacushka for second. Gotta love the race at Oaklawn. Got headed by Monomoy Girl and then came back. If she's got any of that kind of fitness, that'll be great. My one concern is in the Ballerina last year at Belmont, she faced another good front runner in Serengeti Express and finished out of the money. So that's a little bit of a concern for me with her and the end being on a one-turn race. I think Swiss Skydiver is my third choice, and I think really she'll benefit from the one turn. Jose's got a little work to do to get her out of the gate, but she likes to break good. She broke good at Oaklawn. She's generally broken very well, and I think you'd be able to establish position and put her right in the race without any problem. And they come at her. I think she'll be game as ever. And I go back to the Preakness race with Authentic. She was as dead game in that race as any horse I've watched in the recent years. And we'll see what happens, but definitely is going to be right there.
So what do you think about that Bonnie South pick, Jose? You're pretty straightforward with us on a couple of horses before, and you think Bonnie South's got a good shot?
I think she's a nice filly, but I think she's going to step up in class a little bit, and she's going to feel it on Saturday.
Yeah, the step up in class is going to be painful. How about you, Hollywood Hay?
Yeah, I like She Dares the Devil, and going for a hat trick. She likes the distance, and she's win 5 out of 7 starts at this distance. She's trained by Brad Cox and ridden by Florent Giroux. And then number 3, Lacushka, has won 13 out of 18 races. I mean, how can you go wrong there? She just won a grade 1 where she beat Swiss Skydiver. And then I like number 1, Swiss Skydiver, because during her career, she's finished 85% of the time, winning 60% of those starts. And she has the fastest dirt start among today's starters. And of course, Jose Ortiz is in the irons. And then I like Bonnie South, number 7, likes the distance, winning 4 out of 5 starts at this distance. She had a bullet work in preparation for this race. And I think the way the race is going to go is Lacushka and She Dares the Devil. They'll go to the front. I think Swiss Skydiver, and of course, this is up to Jose, but will stay close to the pace and try to catch the leaders down the stretch. I think number 7, Bonnie South, will close at the end and get into the exotics. but I think she's there's the devil will hold on to win.
I think it seems like if my nominated girl's not in the race, Swiss Skydiver does better. Maybe there's a little rivalry there. I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I like She Dares the Devil as well. When her and Lacushka met off, actually, She Dares the Devil got the lead and held Lacushka off the whole way. I expect them two to go right from the start again. I'm taking She Dares the Devil, going for 3 wins in a row, 6 out of 7. She loves the distance, finishing in the trifecta in all 7 of her starts, winning 5 of them. And then I like Swiss Skydiver. I think she'll rebound here, and a big-time jockey upgrade. Robbie Alvarado is not the rider he once was, so with Jose back on her, I think she'll be there. And then Lacushka is going to be tough too, but I'm using her for 3rd.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a 3-horse race too, between Lacushka, She Dares the Devil, and Swiss Skydiver. And depending on how the pace plays out, if Lacushka and She Dares the Devil decide that they're going to run too fast, they're going to make Jose's job really easy because they're going to tire and he's going to run by him at the end. I like She Dares the Devil too, and but we'll see how that plays out. I think it's going to be close between Lacushka and Swiss Skydiver, because I do agree with Tom. When she's pressed, she has a little bit more of a difficult time. She's not going to be lone speed in this race like she was when she faced up against Swiss Skydiver last time out. So she's going to have a little bit more work to do this time than she had to do last time. So that's how I see it. Now we're going to move on to race number 8, which is the
Lacushka is going to run for the first time without laces too. You guys missing that?
Oh yeah, that's one of those things now that we're kind of, trying to adjust to as handicappers, because everything else has first time Lasix that's not first time off Lasix. So in your experience with horses, since you brought that up, I mean, is there like any clue besides the past performances where there's not an L, where horses you think might not run well on Lasix?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, she's running on Lasix. We don't know if she bleeds or not. If she's a bleeder, then she's going to have a problem. But from what can I see, every other horse here has run without it. So I'd be worried about her, and that's something that would probably be against her. But you can knock her. She's a nice filly. I mean, she's 13 out of 18, so she's pretty good.
I agree on the first the no time Lasix. We were struggling with that last week at Churchill Downs. Which horses have it? Which horses don't have it? And and in some races they can't have it. In some races they can have it. Scary Fitzpatrick point out that Lacushka also had a 6-pound weight advantage in her last race that she's not going to get here too. So that's another thing that might slow her down out of the gates. It might not make her as fast. So it's always good to get some input from the outside to see things that we're not seeing in the forest, right? The forest through the trees. So let's look at race number 8. It's and one last thing on Lasix. Do you find too, Jose, that it's more of an issue with horses that get to the front than the ones that close?
I don't know. No, I haven't been paying attention to that, honestly.
So I've noticed a lot in handicapping that horses that show speed and then they kind of then fade next time out, if they have Lasix, they're able to hold their speed a little bit longer. So I just kind of figured that maybe
they probably bleed it. They probably bleed a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought maybe it was just more of a benefit for sprinters than it might be for closers. So anyway, off to race number 8, the Just the Game Stakes. Jose is riding Regal Glory number 4 here. It's a horse that's going to have to do a little bit of work too, Jose, to get to the finish line first. Tell us about Regal Glory.
She's very nice. One thing on her favor is that the grass will be a little, it won't be real hard, and she likes it when it's a little wet like that, like today was. So hopefully, even if we get a little bit more rain, will be great for her. But yeah, this is a nice race. A lot of horses. I mean, I had to work out a nice trip. Hopefully, break running and put it. I think I should be forward here. Be forward and just sit behind my entry. Blowout. Just sit just right off her and punch home one move.
One jump, one move.
Yeah, I think break good. Make sure I be forward. Sit behind blowout. Make one run.
Yeah, I think Blowout's going to get to the lead. What do you think, Terry?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think Blowouts, of course, loves the distance and this track. And she's trained by Chad Brown, and Flavian Pratt is in the irons. You know, during her career, she's finished in the money 100% of the time, winning 33% of those entries. So, yeah, I think she'll rush to the lead and try to go all the way. Number 6, Pocket Square, has won her only start in the States. It's coming from Europe. And she has Irad Ortiz. Of course, he probably won't be riding, but he's been hot the last 7 days. Out of 29 starts, he's had 8 wins. And like number 10, Tamam here is going for a hat trick after winning 2 in a row, and she likes the distance here. She's been in the money 85% of the time and won 43% of those times. And Belmont is the only race that she's raced at Belmont she won. And then I like Sweet By and By. During her career, she's finished in the money 80% of the time, winning 40% of those entries. She has the highest last speed rating and a hot trainer in the last 14 days who's out of 5 starts had 2 wins and 2/3. So I think the way the race will go is Blowout will go to the front, and then Sweet By and By and number 4 Ray Glory will be in mid-pack and close and try to catch the leaders at the end. I think number 6 Pocket Square and number 10 Tamamir will close from deep and try to get the win, but I expect number 11 Blowout will hold on and win by a small amount.
Thomas, I'm always interested in your view on these races because there's a couple of foreign entries in here, so I'm curious what your thoughts are on the Invaders.
I like Charlie Appleby's both those horses that he's brought over here. They're both Godolphins. I put Althika on top. She's handled layoffs very well. She ran good in Dubai. She worked in company with Summer Romance at Belmont on the turf, and they went 114. So they're showing that they've got the stuff. She won. She's won in Dubai. She's won in France. She's won in England, and she's faced some pretty good company, including her stablemate, Summer Romance. Picked Summer Romance for second, but I almost think she's going to win because when she started at a mile distance, she's been in a Group 1 races in Europe and faced Love, which is definitely one of the best fillies out there, and Watch Me, who's also one of the best fillies out there. And there's nothing like that in this field at all. And if she can run anything like that, I mean, she should be right there. She wants some moisture in the ground. She's basically run on the good surfaces with a little bit of give, and we're definitely going to get that because it has been raining, and that course is going to be a little softer than it normally is. So both of them, I think, really have a nice chance because of a little moisture. It was moisture, and with some little racing luck, they'll both be there. I did like Pocket.
That's a number 8 and number 9, right?
Yeah. I did like Pocket Square too. He obviously Judgment, Chad Brown, they're bringing her over from France. She won a Group 2 over there. She looked really nice in her last start, and you got to give her a chance. Doesn't matter who's riding her; she's going to be dead game. But I really think the other two are in a much higher class than a lot of this field.
That's good to have Tom. He's our international expert, Jose. If he tells us there's an international horse he likes, we have to run to the window, not just walk. Sean, how about you?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say these international horses aren't our thing. So.
No, we always go to Tom for that. I love Blowout here. I know he's the morning line favorite, but 4-1, if we could get that, I mean, this is a perfect horse to use first or second, as always finishes first or second. Also, I expect her to get an easy lead here. I don't really see too much other speed. Sweet By and By, Regal Glory, maybe no number 7. But this is a great horse to wheel first or second if you do tries or supers. In 12 career races, she's finished in the exact in 11 of them. The one she didn't, she finished third.
And if you look at all the finishes, she's only lost by a nose, a neck, three-quarters of a length, a neck, a head. Yes, and that's not like that could be 10 straight ones down the list there.
Yeah, it's only one race in her career she didn't lose or win by less than a length. So she's just one of those horses that's always right there. I used number 1 Zofel, just missed out by 3/4 of a length in her last start on Derby Day in the Grade 2 Distaff Turf Mile. She finished behind 2 horses in here, number 11 Blowout, number 12 New York Girl. I like her closing kick to get up for a piece here. And then I used number 6 Pocket Square, second race in the U.S. after winning her debut. And she has a lot of expectations. I threw her in there.
I used Blowout.
She's doing,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
She's working unbelievable. Pocket Square.
Which one?
Pocket Square.
Number 6.
Pocket Square is working unbelievably well. So you're getting some insight here tonight. So Jose letting us know which ones he sees as some competition. I have Blowout on top too. I think, when you look at that record and it's just a neck, a nose, a neck, and away from being winning maybe all of her races. It's kind of hard to look past that. I went with Tammy here second, and I have Jose coming in third on Regal Glory. So hopefully Jose can do what he wants, get a little bit behind Blowout, make one move, go by her, and get to the tape a little bit in first place. One thing we've had a couple times is when jockeys come on, they have a pretty good day the next day. So you were supposed to come on the Thursday before the Preakness. You had a real nice day Friday, right?
Yeah.
Look at that smile. There it is. That's what we want to see. So Gary Fitzpatrick wants to know, Jose, how do you see the rain affecting the weekend at all? Does the track there dry fast, or is it a slow draining kind of stays kind of wet track?
I think it'd be a fast track. I think it'd be a fast track on Saturday.
Yeah, well, they kind of soup those tracks up for these big days, don't they?
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna work on it, and they're gonna work on it, and they're gonna work on it. By the time we run big race, we're gonna have a good track.
Well, it's supposed to be sunny and warm, I think, on Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be sunny. Yeah, I think Friday night they're gonna work it out, and it would be a nice track on
Do you
Saturday.
find that Saturday's gonna be speed favoring most likely? Usually on the big days, it is.
Well, I mean, I think on the big day they always make it a little fast. Yeah.
It's
good times.
Yeah, and they don't call it Big Sandy for nothing.
Belmont. So are you going to share any secrets with the out-of-town jockeys? I want to ask you this. Is there like not like an East Coast, West Coast rivalry like in the old days of Tupac and Notorious B.I.G., but so when jockeys are coming from California to New York to race in your home track, I know it's a tight-knit community because jockeys are jockeys, but is there like a sense of rivalry? Like, you know what, you're on my track now, and you're going to have to earn these wins, or do you not even think about that?
Yeah, we're not gonna make it easy for anybody coming from out of town, But we have very good connection. You could see Flavian came in today. He won a race. He's a great jockey, and he ride live horses. So I expect him that he's gonna win a few too. He ride live horses, and he's a great rider. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, the main thing is everybody goes safe, and I mean, if we race right a little bit, yeah, we gotta do it. But if I don't have any horse, I'm not looking for anybody. If I can win the race, then I'll race right you. But
yeah, you're gonna give them all they got.
Passing the 3A pole, you feel you're not going anywhere, so you don't want to mess somebody else's race just for fun,
No, of course, yeah. Well, there's got to be that respect on the track, right? Otherwise, that's where you can run into problems. But if you feel like you got a horse, you got to make them earn it. John Walsh said that he's noticed at Belmont the day after the rain, the track tends to run fast and speed holds a lot. So hopefully we'll see that additional tip from John Walsh play out and help you with your handicapping in our contest. Make sure that you head on over to our contest at Horse Racing Radar. I think on Friday it's is it at Belmont too, Sean? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Friday and Saturday at Belmont, $100 prize if you win the handicapping contest. You should enter those, the handicapping contest on Friday, and then $200 for the Belmont Day on Saturday. So you can go over there, and Sean and I and maybe Tom or Terry will join us for some commentary in between races on Belmont Day. So we're going to go off to race number 10 now, because there's no mount for Jose in race number 9 in the race that Nick's Go was going to win pretty easily. What do you say, Jose?
Race 9.
With Nick's Go, I think Nick's Go, Mischievous Alex, and those are probably the 2 primary contenders. I like Dr. Post in that race too, but those are the 2 favorites.
Man, the way I like Mischievous Alex, the way he's been doing it, is doing pretty nicely here. So
Yeah, he's been pounding people.
He looked very good in the morning, but Nick's Go. Well, we're gonna have to see if that flight overseas take a step away from him. Usually, they take a long time to come back from it. And I mean, it's been a while since he don't run. Last time he run was in February. So,
man, that was in Saudi Arabia for $20 million. Is that the?
I mean, but he got 259s in a row in Churchill Down, so he should be ready.
Yeah, no, his workouts are looking
no
sharp.
Bracco's getting him ready, but I like the horse that is running, and the horse is the one horse.
Mischievous Alex. All right.
I mean,
let's move on.
I don't know the horse. He knows the horse like the palm of his hand. So if he's riding it, I think that's an edge. But if he's not riding tomorrow, maybe I go with Nick's Go.
Maybe you'll go with Nick's Go. Yeah. So Sarah from Triple Clown says that Nick's Go is a strong single. Sarah chiming in.
Yeah, I think the one's going to have something to say about that.
I like Dr. Post a little bit in that race. There's a little bit of a shot there. The 2 horse.
I don't like him.
I love his honesty. Right. We're going to ask you what you think about the Japanese horse in the Belmont Stakes again, Jose.
He got no shot.
That's what you told us last time too. So race 10, the Resorts World Casino is 1.25 miles on the inner turf. What are the differences from your perspective as a jockey between riding in the on the inner turf and what is it called, the wide inner turf track there, the 2 different tracks?
Yeah, they're the same.
There's no difference.
Just going around in circles. Nothing.
Well, it does seem like when I watch the inner turf track, it seems like you guys are always turning though. Is there ever a straight point in an inner turf track, or is it like a NASCAR race at Bristol where you're just constantly turning left?
No, it depends. I think in the inner turf, we kind of have a very weird break in the mile and 16 that you're going uphill and then you take like a dog leg to the left. And then
does that impact the race at all?
Yeah,
like from the start.
I'm personally, I don't like that distance because you gotta break a little bit uphill, and you gotta break good. If you're not forward, sometimes they put the rail out, and if you don't break, man, you
race is over.
You gotta take him back to last.
So make sure in race number 10 that you get a horse that breaks out. Is that your plan there too, with Rock Emperor to get out early?
No, he don't have a lot of speed. It should be a fast pace with Channel Cat and I mean Tribuban was on the lead last time on 47 too.
What do you think?
Horse had like an 8-length lead in the last race.
What about the blinkers?
Did the other ones just not come out?
What about the blinkers? Is that going to make any difference? Because they're adding blinkers to Jose's horse.
Yeah, usually he was on the beat. Like he was a little keen early on, and then he would always kind of hang. But we didn't. Chad didn't want to put the blinkers on him because it was gonna make a little bit keener early on, and he didn't want to put the blinker, but he felt like he needed blinkers because he always kind of hang. And finally, last time he was a little bit lazy, like he wasn't pulling as much, and that gave him the confidence to put the blinkers on him now. So hopefully, we're expecting a 47 too that he's not too keen with the blinkers. Hopefully, he relax. I think the blinkers we put him a little bit forward. But hopefully not too keen.
It seems like he's run his best races when he's a little bit more forward.
Yeah, but he needs to relax. He needs to relax a little bit. Last time I rode him, he was too keen on me. They went in 49, so usually I mean, the pace make the race. But if they go 47, I think he will relax well and he will run a good race. But it's a really tough race with Digital Age and Colonel Liam. You know, those two horses are the best horses in the division, and I mean, it's a great race. It's a great
Yeah, I
race.
think it's a great race too.
Those two horses are very tough. I've been working Masterpiece. The horse been working Lies Out too. I mean, it's a good race. It's a good race. Anything can happen. But I think domestic spending and the Pletcher horse, I don't know. I think they're just a little bit better than everybody else. And I like Gufo too. Gufo is a nice horse. I think he's gonna come running late.
Yeah. Sean, who do you think's going to win? Who's going to be at the wire first, Sean?
I think it's domestic spending. Always seems to just get there in time. Another one. Last time Dad he did with Colonial Liam. I think the post advantage here with domestic spending being in post 4 and Colonial Liam being on the outside, that will definitely help domestic spending. And the one race that domestic spending lost, he stumbled out of the gate and also had to go wide. So with a clean trip, he'd be difficult here. And I like the post position advantage. And then the only thing I did see is number 8, Tribbett. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. The number 8, again, I think he'll get out and have a pretty easy lead. And yeah, there you go. Has a chance to wire the field like he did last time. He has the highest buyer in the field of 105, which came last start. And likes Belmont. This will be his 4th race in a row, and he is on a 2-race win streak. He only had 2 wins in his first 15 starts before he came over to Belmont. And then I did use the 10 because Colonial Liam's always there, going for his 5th straight win. 5 of 6 races on turf he's won. The only loss, again, he had trouble. And then Irad, if he does run, is 5 for 5 on this horse.
How about you, Terry? Who do you see winning?
I like, just like Swiss Army Sean, I like domestic spending. He's in great form. He's won 2 grade 1s in a row, and now he's going for a hat trick, of course. And he's trained by Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt's in the irons. Then I like number 10, Colonel Liam. He's going for the 5th win in a row. And again, he has Irad Ortiz in the saddle. And during his career, he's finished in the money 87% of the time, and he's won 75% of those entries. And then I like the number 6, which is Jose's horse. Needed his last race after a break of 7 months, and he switched to a high percentage jockey, which is going to only help. And then I like number 9, Gufro. Has the best speed, turf speed, and he's faster than the average winning speed in the race. He'll be closing from deep, and he'll try to nip him at the wire. And I think the way the race will go is number 2, Bye Bye Melvin, and number 7, Channel Cat will go for the lead, and then number 4, Domestic Spending, and 6, Rocka Emperor, number 9, Gufo, and 10 will close at the end. And I think that the number 4 will just hold on and win it.
How about you, Tom?
Gufo just missed last time, and I think this time he wins. I think he needed a race. There's enough speed up front. I really think Tribuhuan is going to be the leader here. Channel Cat, I think, will be around there. And Colonel Liam will be sitting off maybe 3-4 lengths back. And Gufo is just going to fly at the end. And I really think he's the best horse. He was a great three-year-old. I think he's going to be a really good 4-year-old too. Colonel Liam, got to put him in there. He's just not done anything wrong yet. Dead heated last out. He's just going to sit right there and wait, and everybody's going to follow him when he makes the move, and we'll see what happens with that. Chad Browner's got 4 runners in this race. So
do you think he's going to win?
You got to pick one of them in there, and I pick Masterpiece. I think he's improving, and I think Javier will watch Colonel Liam and will get that horse going. And he ran a he's had some issues, obviously, but it obviously wasn't a lot of issues because they went off the 50-cent favorite at Keeneland when he won his allowance race. So somebody knew something. and yeah, I can't put him. I can't put him not in the money.
Yeah, I look at Gufo's line. Jose brought Gufo up, and it reminds me a little bit of the last race when we were talking about blowout. If you look at Gufo's line, you'll see here that he has a nose, a neck, one, lost by a head, second, first by a nose. So in his last 8 races, he's a nose and a neck away from being undefeated, and it feels like 5-1. And a horse that is making its second start in his 4-year-old campaign, like you had mentioned there, Tom. And if you look back last year, he came out and set a new speed rating high in his 3-year-old debut and lifted that number nicely in the second race. He set a new this year, so I don't know, I'm big on cycles and history repeating itself, but as a 4-year-old, he came out and set a new speed rating high, and if he follows that same pattern, he could put a number up on the board that might be tough for everybody else to kind of match. And then I think the other 2 horses, Colonel Liam and Domestic Spending, those 3 horses to me are just a slight cut above the rest. And then I feel like one of the speed horses will probably be there at the end, either at Tribhuvan or Channel Cat. And then Jose will be riding up in late. And I think it's going to be a whole bunch of different horses at the wire and a very exciting race to watch. And I think of all the races on the card from Friday and Saturday, it's probably the best betting race because there are so many horses that can win that the money's going to be pretty well spread out. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So now off to the big show. Jose, unfortunately, not riding in the Belmont yet. Maybe pick up a ride. But when you look at the Belmont Stakes, do you think Rombauer has a chance to follow up the Preakness win, or do you feel like the other horses in this, the Known Agenda, the Rock Your World, the Essential Quality, those horses are just a step above what he faced in the Preakness, and he won't have enough to get there?
They are a step above, and they are well rested. They coming fresh into a 1.5-mile race. But Mike McCarthy is a great trainer. So I think the horse will be ready. But I'm going to pick No Agenda. I think he's sitting on a big one.
How's he training? Good?
Very good.
Very good. So, yeah, for me, I before the Kentucky Derby, I thought as we were doing our Kentucky Derby show that Rock Your World, because post position, the kind of way the race would break out, would have a good chance to win the Kentucky Derby. But, of course, he had all those problems at the beginning. People are concerned if it's a grass horse or a dirt horse. I mean, what he put on the Santa Anita Derby certainly showed that he's a dirt horse, so he can run well on the dirt. You think he can handle the 1.5 miles, Jose?
I think he can. He looked very good on the morning. He's a big horse. I think he can. But I think Essential Quality and Rock Your World are better.
Okay. All right. So who do you got in this race, Sean? Who do you think's winning the Belmont Stakes?
I think it's Hot Rod Charlie. I just been impressed watching the replays.
I say before? I like it.
Well, you said Rock Your World, but Hot Rod Charlie, you think is the one?
Yeah, Hot Rod Charlie. I like that horse. I think that horse and Essential Quality and No Agenda.
Yeah, you jumped out of your chair right there with Hot Rod Charlie. We've noticed that when jockeys jump out of their chair and they say something very confidently, that's almost a lock to bet if there is such a thing. So
it's been a slam dunk so far. Yeah.
I think Hot Rod Charlie is a nice horse, but I'm picking No Agenda because Pletcher know how to win those kind of races.
All right. Yeah, well, he's run well. That's something you brought up last night when we were talking about the Belmont, Sean.
Yeah. What was it? 3 wins, and then
like
in the
6
last
seconds or
years,
something.
6 seconds and 3/3. So yeah, and then he's got 3 of the 8. Now 2 of them are long shots, but one has a really good chance. Yeah, I used Hot Rod Charlie. I love the replays watching them. There's the one trip, I think it was Louisiana Derby where he was 3rd and he was getting sandwiched between horses, and he almost still won that race. And then I did go with Rock Your World just because I think he's got a pace advantage here. I think he gets the lead easily and definitely can get the distance, I feel like. And And then I used Essential Quality because he's one you got to use in the exotics. Same thing with the Derby. He had a tough trip, and he was only a length behind.
Mm-hmm.
He finished 4th and could have won the race.
Yeah, not a good race.
And then the one I totally tossed was Rombauer. We went over some of the trends, and Rombauer didn't fit any of the trends. Plus, running 3 weeks ago, unlike the rest of these that ran 5 weeks ago, I tossed the 3 out.
I'm looking at Terry right now. When you say you tossed Rombauer, Terry looked like he was ready to reach through the screen and bop you on the head. Terry, you got Rombauer again, or are you going to run away?
No, I'm going to take Essential Quality to win the race. He had an excuse for the last race he ran in the Preakness. I mean, a Derby. And he was bumped at the start, and he came into the stretch 4 wide. He's had a good rest, and he's been working out well in preparation for the Belmont. Then I like Rombauer after that. And I think it's a little bit tiring, the race he just did, and he's stepped up to some better horses, but I still think he's going to get either 2nd or 3rd. And then I like Known Agenda. I can't explain what happened in the Kentucky Derby except for it's like a cavalry charge, and all kinds of things happened during that race. But I'm going to throw that race out, and he's been rested, and he has good works for this race. And then I like Hot Rod Charlie. He ran a really good race in the Kentucky Derby. He ran a good 3rd. He can either run on top or he can come from behind. I like both of those angles. And he should be used in the exotics at least.
So before we get to Tom, Jose, Tom, as I said before, is our resident long shot player. And without looking at his picks, I know that he's going to have either Bourbonic or I don't think he'll have the Japanese horse, France Go de Ina, which you say has no chance, or he'll have the number 8, Overtook. So do Bourbonic or Overtook? Do either of them have a chance to close in on these others? And he runs away from that question. What do you think, Jose? Do either of the long shots have a chance, Bourbonic or Overtook?
I don't think so.
Okay, Tom, who do you like?
You gotta ask Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I like the 2 Pletcher horses, and Bourbonic I like on top. Terry and I could have claimed that horse for $50K when they dropped it into a maiden claimer, and it's turned into a pretty good horse. You watch its Kentucky Derby race, and a little better trip, and I think it would have been a lot more forwardly placed. It got bounced around and tucked in, and yeah, it wasn't going anywhere. But let's face it, the Wood winner at 73-1. I don't think we're going to get those odds, but we're definitely going to get some decent odds on this horse, and I think it's got a great chance. And I think Pletcher didn't drop the horse in there without thinking about it very carefully. Known Agenda, yeah, I just think he needs a good trip. His Derby was forgettable. Let's face it. He's been in all his other races. Even in his maiden races, he's facing stakes winners. So, he's a tough horse. He just needs a trip. And I think Pletcher's may have that exacta. I did put Essential Quality in there. My only concern with him is he's never run on the New York circuit. So he's never been on Big Sandy. He's never been up Saratoga. And, sometimes they just don't like it. And he's been at 3 tracks. He's won at 3 tracks, but only in the Midwest. And so that always makes me a little leery about playing a horse like that.
Well, I've learned a little bit from being on the show with the Triple Clowns about this California to anywhere in the world angle. And when I look at Rock Your World, I was really impressed by that Santa Anita win. I mentioned yesterday that I wonder if they shipped Hot Rod Charlie out of California because they didn't think it can compete at the time with Life is Good, Medina Spirit, or maybe even Rock Your World. So the only chance that Hot Rod Charlie might have had to qualify for the Kentucky Derbies to get away from those horses and run against a weaker field in the Louisiana Derby. So I'm looking at Rock Your World's. I'm looking at Rock Your World's most recent workout. I think he's going to get to the lead. I don't think he's going to have to work very hard to get there. And as you saw in the Santa Anita Derby, he was able to pull away from all the other from Medina Spirit late. And Medina Spirit raced well in the Kentucky Derby. Didn't show as well in the Preakness, but still ran a pretty solid race. I think if Rock Your World can run that same race, Gary Fitzpatrick, he will win. If not, I think Essential Quality is probably the horse to beat. That fourth place finish doesn't look good on paper, but when you watch that race, that he got bumped around, had to go wide. It's almost amazing that he finished fourth, considering the ride in the trip that he got. He's going to get a much cleaner trip here because you only have 8 horses, much cleaner break. I think he'll show to be the quality that he is. And then I have Hot Rod Charlie coming in third because that horse is one of those horses that just fights and fights and fights and fights and fights, as you mentioned, Sean. So I don't think he always puts in a good effort, Hot Rod Charlie, and I don't think you're going to be able to beat him unless you actually beat him, right? Like in boxing, you got to beat the champ to be the champ, and I think that's what you're going to see out of those horses. So that's how we see the races with Jose. Jose, we 100% appreciate you coming back. If folks want to follow you online, where can they catch you online at Twitter or Facebook? What's your preferred way of communicating?
I got Twitter and Instagram. Facebook, not much.
Those are your favorite too. Okay, so we'll make sure that Sean puts them out there for us. And Sean, what about for those who want to keep track with the Player's Edge? Where do we do that?
The Player's Edge podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Fantastic. Terry, Tom, it was good to have you both back today. I'm sure that next week we'll hear from Terry about how many winners he had, as we always do.
I got to beat my own drum. Nobody else beats it.
Tom will be letting us know about his just misses. Tom is like that fisherman that always has that big one on the line, but somehow it breaks. Jose, we wish you a lot of success tomorrow and Saturday, but most importantly, we really hope your brother's well and comes through this pretty quickly and we see him back on the track. Let him know our thoughts are with him, and we can't wait to see him again.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Everybody else, good luck at the races.